are you? What's going on? We're gonna give it a couple minutes and see which bee is rolling for us today. For anyone who's new that's joining, my name is Lauren B. I am the Untitled Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. On Sundays, I host a Sunday service, which is like tarot, gospel readings, a little bit of a different vibe. So Sunday service just went up about 15-20 minutes ago, and then we do collective coffee right after Sunday service gets posted. And what we do is we live stream, we hang out, kind of kick it for a little bit. We pull for all the signs for the upcoming week, see what energies are in store. We have this Mercury retrograde about to loom its head right above us, so that's really fun and enjoyable. I already cannot type. It took me forever to do the description box just because my fingers and the keys just don't compute. Hi, Heather. Hello, Heather. Good morning, Sherry. How you doing? There you go. Wonderful. So I'm just going to use one deck this week. I've been doing a couple decks lately, but I just wanted to use one. I want to use the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Oracle deck. It's just what I feel called to use this week. We've been doing pretty good on time lately. I want to try and keep today's a little bit more efficient because I have to finish up the monthly readings for October. I'm about halfway through on the monthly readings for October. So for those of you guys that are Vimeo people, the Vimeo individual monthlies will go up in a few days, but for those of you that are interested in more than one monthly, extra extended reading content, any of that, I highly suggest you look at the Bumblebee or the Hive tiers over on my Patreon. That will give you access to all of the monthly readings. If you want to look at more than just your sun sign, if you want to cross watch, it'll give you access to all of the extended readings for all of the general readings over here on YouTube. The Hive tier will also give you access to the spiritual development workshop that I run over on the Patreon. I'm also in the middle of developing the schedule for the workshops for October. I'm really excited. We've got a few cool little things in store for you for October, so I'm very excited. And anyone interested in personal readings, my October bookings are open now. So if you go just into my scheduler link in the description box, you'll find that for live readings. If you're interested in pre-recorded readings throughout October, just shoot me an email. All my rates, everything like that, it's right down below. Do I have any more updates? Well, we have Mercury retrograde. Hi, Violet Sky. Good morning. We have Mercury going retrograde this week, so that'll be fun. We'll have that until about October 17th. With Mercury, I think that makes about 7 planets in retrograde right now, but we also have a few coming out of retrograde going station direct in the next week or two, so that will be nice. That'll be very much of a relief. I've been talking in Sunday service just before about how there feels like there is a bit of electricity. There's a bit of like excitement in the air, like something is going to happen, like something wonderful, like some physical manifestation, some unions, like feels like things are finally like coming to be. And I think this week, moving into the 1st of October, we're really going to see some like really amazing things, but there is a sense of like a little bit of collective hesitation, right? So we're going to see how it all plays out. As always, I like everyone to stay optimistic the best you can, right? Stay expectant. Let God surprise you this week. We're going to give it a couple more minutes to see if any of the other bees roll in, and then we'll start. Yes? Very good. Very good. Who did we start with last week? I think did we start with Libra last week? Oh, I should write down the timestamp, shouldn't I? I should. Hi, Rebecca. Hello. Hold on, let me get a piece of paper. I was so good about time stamping last week. I want to make sure that I'm remaining good on time stamping. It's easier if I do it than expecting. It's so nice when you guys timestamp for me in the comments, but I also recognize that it's not your responsibility to timestamp. It's my responsibility, so I'm trying to be more responsible. Hi, Amy. Hi. Look, we got some ladies. We got some ladies in the house. Let's see. We started with Libra last week. Ooh, you want me to start with Pisces? Ooh, Pisces has not been wanting to talk. I'll tell you that right now. Coming out in the weeklies. It's been coming out in Pisces monthly that I did yesterday. But yeah, let's start with Pisces. I'm going to write them down. Pisces. Then we'll go Aries. Taurus. How you guys doing? How's your Sunday going thus far? You got any fun plans for today? Aquarius. Gemini. We got Cancer. Leo. Virgo. Libra. Happy birthday to all the Libras. Libra season. We're back in the Libra mansion. Thank goodness. Scorpio. Scorpio, you had the funniest monthly. Libra, I think I did Libra. I did your October monthly reading first. I always do whoever's birthday it is first. I may post your monthly reading later today. Normally I post it on the first of the month, but I might post it earlier. So I might post your monthly earlier today. It was a bit of a heavy message, but I think it was very much needed. Scorpio had the funniest monthly reading. You had me getting like super Jersey City sassy. I was giggling. I was giggling with you guys. Your Shufflemancy song was fucking out of control. Sagittarius, Capricorn, and then Aquarius. This was a perfectly sized notepad. Thanks, Jesus. Great. All right. So we got our list. I appropriately timestamp. Hi, Amanda, Eve. Hello. Coffee time. It's my second coffee. As we are slowly progressing like into fall, my coffee intake is increasing. But I've just been really tired. I don't know if you guys have been like extra tired lately, but I've just been like just tired. I'm real busy like while I'm sleeping, but it's like no matter how much sleep I get, I'm just really tired. But I'm going through like a lot of software like upgrades and like changes in perspective, and whenever that happens, it feels like my brain is really big, so like my body gets really exhausted. That always happens to me. You're gonna go skating class? That's so fun. What kind of skating? Ice skating, roller skating. Natalia. Hi, Natalia. So tired. Yeah. Ready for yard work? Ready for fall to get past this work. Yeah. I'm excited. We had the autumn equinox this week. We had a lot of stuff going on this week, didn't we? We did. It's like, I felt like this week is strange. We had a full moon. We had the equinox. And then we have retrograde starting. I almost forgot that it was the full moon, like earlier this last Monday. Oh my God. This last week felt like a blip. Like it wasn't like here. It was like a very strange, even just this past week feels like it was a long time ago for some reason. Maybe because I'm doing the October monthlies, I'm like already like I'm already on like the 15th. So about October 15th. Is that the full moon or the new moon? Might be the new moon. Oh, you're doing roller derby. Oh, that's so cool. You're going to whip it. Like, you ever see that movie, Whip It? So cool. I'm far too frail and brittle for that, but that's awesome. I think planetary at play. I'm exhausted lately, too. I'm sure there is something planetary at play, but I'm not an astrologist. Maybe Heather knows. Heather's a great astrologist. Maybe she knows. If there's any astrologist on deck that wants to let us know why everyone's so tired. New moon is the 6th, full moon is 20th. Well, then I have no idea what's going on the 15th. Something seems like it's happening on the 15th. I don't know what. You need some good food? There you go. Over caffeinate with too much coffee. Yeah. I'm about to get vitamin D, like vitamin D3 with like what is it, like vitamin K or something. Like I'm about to get like a big bottle of those because I'm vitamin D deficient because I have psoriasis, but also I know that we get a lot less sunlight in the fall and the winter too, so I'm about to get a big bottle of that. It seems to really help people with like their energy levels and kind of like mood regulation. I'm not a doctor, so I'm just like through my research. And it seems to help people with like skin issues like I do. So I'm gonna give it a shot and see if it helps overall. I'm probably just not eating like enough vitamins, honestly. I'm probably just not like feeding my vessel enough. You can't live off of like dumplings and coffee. Uranus has been really lit up, both Venus and Mars, pretty exhausting. All right, see, so it's not us. It's not totally our fault. Hollywood drama. We have like 9,000 planets in retrograde. Yeah. It's a lot. It's too many. Oh, but that's nice. Look, the Phoenix, and then this is my world card. So we're wrapping up a cycle. Cycles are tiring, right? And I think that a lot of us are in like very much of like a new beginning sort of energy. It feels like a new beginning, but I always say that we think beginnings are always like really energetic and like the lights are on. But if you think of like a fresh baby, like just fresh out the oven, what do most of the time? They sleep, right? Because it's like there's so much stimulus. And that's what I feel. I feel like energetically, spiritually, intellectually, there's like a lot of stimulus going on. And so I'm just kind of tired. My brain is expanding. Thank God. Make some good soups. Eat more veggies like that, yeah. I think because of all the squares with Uranus in July, we were just getting pooped with that energy. We can't live off of dumplings and coffee now. Maybe it's mind over matter. I pray over my dumplings, but still, I have to get. They're pushing me back into like better eating, like exercise, like stuff like that. I'm trying my best. Frail, used to be a cheerleader. Get out of the park and do your own cheer routines. I did used to be a cheerleader, and I used to be a competitive dancer for years. But then I broke both of my knees, and I spent a year in a wheelchair learning how to re-walk. And like 5 years before any of that happened, I broke my back. I fell from a high height, and I broke my back. So, kind of frail. A little bit. But I'm so stubborn that I'll do something very physical anyway, just to prove to myself I can, and then I'll be like limping for 4 days. I'm like the Princess and the Pea. If there's like one thing like underneath like the bed, like I will feel it for like a week. I'm like Princess and the Pea. It's so annoying. I'm so physically like high maintenance. I have watched Heroes. I used to love that blonde girl. I forget her name, but she used to fall from stuff, and then her bones would like, they would just like reanimate, right? Like she just like would fix herself. That's kind of like me. It's kind of like me. Mars and Venus being in mutual I knew Heather would have all the answers. Mars and Venus being in mutual reception and debilitation is not helping. We should be feeling much better by mid-October. Yeah, well, 15th. Yeah, so I guess that makes sense. I'm trying to do it now, though. I need my physical body to be able to sustain the energetic upgrades that I'm going through, if that makes any sense. She was a cheerleader too, you're right. I should rewatch that series. I ran through my normal rotation of series, right? I normally do like all of Game of Thrones, I'll do True Blood, I'll do American Gods, and then I'll go to like the movies, I'll do all the Hunger Games, I'll do all the Harry Potters, like I have like my rotation, like my set rotation of shows. Sons of Anarchy. I ran through all of them, and I've just been watching like random movies lately. I've been watching a lot of dystopian movies. There's a few of them on Netflix that are good. There's one called Paradise Hills with Emma Roberts. That was pretty good. There's another one on Netflix called Level 16. That was pretty good. I'm watching a lot of like I'm really into like dystopian movies and stoicism right now. So Hayden Panettiere, you're right. That's just what I'm into right now. Classical music, dystopian films, and stoicism. So but fall is coming, so I just ordered a bunch of new clothes. I'm going into my like dark academia mode, which is always really fun for me. Herbal tea, fresh herbs, Melissa, time. Ooh. I love tea. I actually drink a lot of tea, but I can't drink tea in the morning on an empty stomach or I'll get nauseous. Why? I don't know. I can't drink tea on an empty stomach or I'll get sick. It's just a weird thing. It's just a weird thing about me. I'm sure it has. Coffee is my friend lately, too. Yeah. All right. Ooh, stretch. I'm so big. All right. A couple stretches. Ooh. Did a little chit. We did a little chatting. Get myself organized. I'm kind of hot. That's fine. But I have one deck. I'm just going to use one deck today. Because I feel like it. Just say the timelines are collapsing. I lost my train of thought. This is what I'm talking about with this overstimulation. Yeah, so I'm going to use the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Oracle deck. Sunday service is out. It is up. So if you guys are interested, Sunday service is up today. We covered Matthew 17:24. The October monthlies will be out soon. If you're interested in them, check out the Bumblebee or the Hive tiers on Patreon. If you just like to buy them individually, the Vimeo links will be up shortly in a few days. Libra's monthly reading may go up later today. Either that, I still have the Libra season live stream to do, so I'm either going to come back live later and do the Libra season live stream, or I will post the Libra monthly. There's Libra something going on. Later on this afternoon, my October bookings are open, so just check the Acuity schedule link in the description box if you want a live reading. Email me if you want pre-recorded. I'm offering readings and energy work in a package now. Over the last few weeks, I've had a few people ask me if I can combine them in a package, and so I've done that for you guys, and so the rates and information for that will be in the description box as well. And I think that's all my updates for the most part. I think so. I'll be posting the schedule for the spiritual development workshop on the worker bee tier. I'll be posting that in the next couple days. I just have to finalize a few of the programs we're going to run. I'm excited about October. I'm very excited for spooky season. Yes, yes. Oh, we got some interesting splits here. We're going to start with Pisces, because Pisces has been unusually quiet. Not this Pisces, but Pisces in general have been unusually quiet lately. So we're going to start with them because they never seem to want to go. Jennifer, we got all the ladies. We got all the ladies in the house. I like it. Reminds me of that song, Okay Now Ladies. Oh, my nose is going already. What's that about? Means we have some interesting messages coming today. Aw, Kirsty. Hi, Kirsty. All right, let's pray. Let's pray, and we're going to start with Pisces. Very good. Father God, thank you for bringing me and everyone in for these readings today. I ask that you give me wisdom, clarity, and discernment to deliver these messages accurately for everyone's highest of love, light, alignment, and assignment. We praise you, we love you, we thank you always. We give you all the glory and the honor for these messages. To the utmost high, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen, y'all. So, it's 18 minutes. 18 minutes, Pisces. You had two cards fly out. The raccoon and then the fire ant in reverse. I see you staying out of the line of fire this week. If you've been having any issues with people, friend groups, partners, family, like anything like that, I see you trying to avoid conflict. The raccoon for me, it talks a lot about adaptability. It talks a lot about resourcefulness, seeing opportunities in the dark where like other people can't. However, there is a slight energy of you trying to find a way around a situation. This fire ant is a little bit of my Five of Wands card, which talks about conflict, competition, things like that, climbing social ladders, hierarchies, stuff like that. Sometimes Pisces, especially this week, you may find a situation pop up for yourself, and you're going to have one of two options this week. Excuse me. You're either going to completely remove yourself from the situation and try and find a way around it by, again, being innovative, creative, resourceful, whatever it is. Or you're going to have the ability to kind of confront whatever the issue is and kind of move straight through it, right? With Mercury retrograde, you might have some people that had previously, because it's in reverse, that had previously had conflict with you, had issues with you, a falling out with you. Your instinct may be to avoid them, right? I'm very busy, I'm working on some stuff, whatever it may be. However, there is a slight energy of it might be easier for you to just kind of confront things head on, not be confrontational, right? Don't be aggressive, but sometimes you may exert a lot more energy trying to find a way around an issue as opposed to just moving through an issue, that may be a more effective strategy. You're going to know for yourself which way you should go, but it's just a little bit of food for thought for you. The Cobra at the top of the deck. So a couple things with this card. One, this Cobra for me indicates a lot of magnetism, right? People being like a little bit hypnotized by you. And so I do think you're going to be drawing a lot of attention to yourself. And it's interesting because I was just saying that you haven't been wanting like a lot of attention on you, especially with that raccoon card, right? They're nocturnal, they're always in the dark, they're not easily seen. That's kind of the way you want it. That's kind of the way you want it right now. But whether or not you want to stay under the radar, you're very much on other people's radars this week, right? They're going to kind of make a bit of a beeline, pun intended. They're going to make a beeline to you this week. Just be mindful of that. Stay on top of your responsibilities, but don't go out of your way to avoid people, places, or things. There's a difference between being in hermit mode, right, for development, research, study, and just hiding. You don't have to hide from people. You don't have to do that, especially if you were the one that was wronged in a situation. However, with this Cobra, it also brings up a little bit of that root chakra. That root chakra is attempting to be unblocked for you this week. That may make you a little bit on edge, maybe a little bit aggressive, especially if you want to be by yourself, staying focused on your work, and you feel like you're being inundated by other people. That may be why you're trying to move around people this week, is because you may not trust yourself to communicate or engage with them properly without losing your top. Just be mindful of that. Give yourself a little bit more credit, and just try and be a little bit self-disciplined in the way you communicate. Because again, you can move around these situations, but it may be more effective. You may save a lot more energy for worthwhile causes by just having a necessary conversation in like a balanced way and just moving through the conflict. Very good. Very good. Yeah, because I see the firefly coming out, and these are temporary. These are temporary. A part of what it feels like is happening for you this week is a test of your discernment, of your discipline, and your ability to communicate your needs. Pisces, you don't always communicate your needs or your feelings effectively, which is why you tend to bury them inside, and then when you do express them, you kind of pop your top a little bit. I think you've worked on that a lot, so this week, if anything does pop up, it's just an opportunity for you to put those lessons to the test, so that way you can affirm to yourself how much you have grown. Remember, you sometimes will waste more time moving around a situation than just moving through it. So, food for thought. Food for thought. Let's see. Aries. My Aries people. You had a pretty cool monthly reading too, if I'm not mistaken. I did your monthly reading yesterday, Aries. $23. All right, let's see, Aries. My little Rams. I don't know why the football team, the Rams, is coming to my mind when I said that. Discipline. Rabbit in reverse. It feels like there's, you got to keep your eyes open. I think maybe that's where that football thing is coming in. So the rabbit, when it's upright, it talks about a lot of fertility, a lot of abundance, a lot of opportunity. Occasionally, it can also fall into a little bit of suspicion or paranoia. Rabbits can be a little jumpy, right? A little flighty. There's something about the fact that there's a lot of opportunities that are presenting themselves to you this week, Aries, but they may not be obvious. There may not be like a shining sign over them that like, this is an opportunity, this is a door opening, right? You might have you might be a little checked out this week. Check back in. Make sure you're staying aware, alert. Make sure you're checked back in this week. Yeah, see, the raccoon is coming out in reverse at the bottom of the deck. There's options and there's opportunities around you, but you may not be perceiving them. And I think that's where the football analogy is kind of coming in. Like, imagine if there's a busy game, right? And everyone's doing stuff, everyone's there. There could be like an opening that someone else may not see because they are distracted doing something else. But if you're alert, if you're looking for opportunities, you will find them. You will see an opening to kind of drive your dreams, your goals, your projects, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish down the field a little bit more, right? Okay, definitely stay alert. The instinct with all these retrograde energies, with fall, you know, it's like wanting to kind of pull everything in and kind of recharge. But keep the lights on this week. Stay alert. Don't miss out on something. It's like sleeping. It's like don't sleep on opportunities. Again, they may not present themselves obviously as like this is an opportunity. It may be a little bit different than that. Shark in reverse, you really want to go internally. It kind of feels like slightly self-sabotaging, like slightly. It's almost the idea of don't be your own worst enemy this week, right? You might pass up situations or opportunities this week because maybe you don't feel worthy or you don't feel deserving of them. The shark is technically like a predator energy, but it's only because it's on the hunt, right? The shark is always on the hunt for something. It almost feels like perhaps in a pursuit to surrender, go with the flow, all of that kind of stuff, you might have fallen into a little bit of complacency, and there seems to be a lot of energy trying to get you to kind of recommit to whatever it is you're doing. Sharks are also incredibly intelligent. Again, it's that raccoon energy. It's being really resourceful, making lemonade. Wherever you're not seeing growth in your life right now, that might not be an indicator that growth is not available there. Instead, it might be an invitation to be a little bit more inventive, to be a little bit more creative, to find a creative solution to a very practical problem. But again, you're gonna need to put your thinking cap on a little bit. And when you know, Aries, you're the emperor, it's that masculine energy. And if you fall too much into that like feminine kind of flow, que sera, you're gonna miss something really good for yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that, because that might be like a bit of a bad habit that you have sometimes, and it may be resurfacing with these retrograde energies. The dragon, it's very transformative energy. This is also for me, it's kind of like the eye of God. It's a divine energy kind of keeping an eye on you. And in this deck, this is like a major arcana card, so it is the idea of the divine keeping like a very close watch on you this week to make sure you stay on target. So if you're feeling like, again, if you kind of want to rest, like if you want to go internal, kind of check out a little bit, and there's this nagging feeling of like, there's something you're not paying attention to, there's something you're supposed to be doing. Don't interpret it as like an interfering energy. Interpret it as like an intervention energy, that you have the ability to make progress right now that other people may not be able to, but you're going to need to be alert and aware and very in sync with God, in sync with spirit, in order to be able to perceive it, right? Right. There's also something about cleaning your space this week, Aries, like spring, fall cleaning. Like there is something about that. There's something about that. Like I feel like some of you may do like a deep clean and find something, either find something that you could use, find something that sparks some kind of inspiration, find a phone number of someone that like you forgot that you had that could be really helpful for you. You might find like an item that was given to you by someone else you don't talk to anymore that's still holding energy to it that you can get rid of. There's something about you're finding something. And part of that physical cleaning might also just be to clear energy out of your space, right? Sometimes just kind of clear the field a little bit so that way you have the ability to think a little bit more clearly, right? It's hard to think in like a messy space, even if it's just energetically. Try a little feng shui this week. Move, shift some things around. All right, let's see. Taurus. Go. 29 minutes. All right. Stingray. This week for you, Taurus, it really is, it's feeling like an exercise in learning how to receive. I also feel like it may be being highlighted to you this week that some of the boundaries that you have might actually be barriers. They may be walls that potentially, Taurus, sometimes you keep yourself extra busy, or you have all these boundaries, but it's really just a way for you to kind of keep other people away from you, so you don't have to be vulnerable, so you don't have to be receptive to people. It's that kind of thing, because when the stingray comes out in reverse, it talks about some kind of emotional imbalance. Now, emotional imbalance doesn't have to mean that you are upset or you're having a breakdown. That's not always what an emotional imbalance means. Sometimes it just means that perhaps you are not allowing enough. There's a lot of areas where your emotions are present. It can be present in your creative endeavors. Emotion can be present in friends, in family, in romance, in a lot of different sectors. It just feels like emotionally, like you're a little bit checked out, and you might be doing it as a defense mechanism. But you have the Deer coming out next, which one is a really gentle and it's a really graceful energy. It's also divine feminine energy for me. Male or female, we all have divine feminine and masculine energy within us. And so you're being asked to kind of move less off of the defensive and move off of the offensive as well. And there's also something about cutting people a break. Like with these retrograde energies, there might be some people coming towards you this week to try and make amends. Maybe not like reconcile, maybe not start being friends again, get another relationship, but people just kind of wanting to clear the air with you. Give them the opportunity to do so, right? Because that may allow you to heal some wounds in just your emotional body, which cause you to overwork, again, have walls instead of boundaries, keep yourself more isolated than need be, maybe overindulge in the things that I know Tauruses love to indulge in. It's that kind of energy. Like, cut people a little bit of slack, and cut yourself a little bit of slack, and allow yourself to move out of that masculine energy and more into a phase of receptivity that also includes guidance as well and instructions. It also feels like there are some adjustments in what you're doing or how you're doing it, the approach or the position that you're taking, that it feels like Spirit's been trying to nudge you to make some renovations on, do like a few little quality tweaks, and it feels like you haven't been picking up on them. You're a stubborn Taurus. I never knew one. It's like, no, like, this is the way I think it should be going, and Spirit's like, it could go a little bit better if you tried it like this. Be more receptive to your guidance and stuff like that as well. Dragonflies coming out in reverse as well. Yeah, they're trying to kind of push you up the ladder this week, release some of the density, release some preconceived notions about people, get you to trust the process a little bit more. They're trying to help you reach like the next level of your awakening, of your abilities. There's also something really light about this card. It's very light. It's very fresh, right? And the blue is really sticking out as the truth. You might have, with some of these people that might pop up, you might not have had like a lot of information on like their side of the story, why they left, why they did that, and you might have created a story in your mind, Taurus, and that story that you made up in your mind may have been weighing you down, and it might not have actually have been the entire truth of how certain situations played out for you. So hear people out, cut people a little bit of slack, because if you're not doing that, then that means you're not cutting yourself any slack as well. And if you're not cutting yourself any slack, then that means you're not allowing yourself to be adaptable in different situations, in your approaches and how you're pursuing certain things, which means that you're not open to your guidance and your instruction, right? So it's kind of threefold in that aspect. So again, come off the fence, come off the defensive, come off the offensive. No one's coming to get you this week. Like, no one's out for your neck. Just be a little bit gentle, be a little bit more receptive to your guidance, to any adjustments, because they are for you. It's to make things easier, better, faster, like a Daft Punk song, for you. And if there are people that present themselves this week from the past, don't be so defensive and build a wall between you. Hear them out, because hearing their side of the story, hearing their truth of the matter might allow you to break off of some of those illusions or some of the stories you made up in your mind that have really been weighing you down and affecting the way you show up in the world, show up for yourself, show up for other people. And you might feel a lot lighter and freer after that experience, which will allow you to kind of move up timelines. Yes? Yes. Hey, Scott. How you doing, Scott? Manifest your dreams. Hello, hello. The beautiful Manifest Your Dreams. You guys have the best Instagram posts. You really do. I always admire that about you. You're such a good marketer. Taurus is your moon. That's exactly what I'm doing. I just talked about this with my coach. It's all the Scorpio in my chart. Tend to be defensive. Yeah, I get that. In my Vedic chart, I'm a Scorpio moon. So I get that. I can be a little defensive. But in my regular chart, I'm a Sagittarius moon, so I get defensive, and then I'm like, fuck it, whatever, I don't care. But I'm also Pisces, so I just whenever I get too mad, I just disassociate. I'm just like, I'm gonna go to another planet. It's fine. It's all fine. I know, you're the best. I always appreciate you and your support so much. Let's see. Gemini. You're laughing at me because I said I'm a Pisces, I disassociate. I know. Okay. Alright, Gemini. Let's see what's going on for you. Oh, that's fast. Ooh, the wolf. You coming through the fire this week, Gemini? This is my Emperor card. Are you coming out alone? I just heard the cheese stands alone, which is my guides being funny with me. It's interesting because you think wolves, lone wolves. Wolves generally run in packs. Gemini, I think you might have changed packs. You might be in between packs right now. And there's something about this week, you not just like being on your own or standing on your own, but doing it like really triumphantly, doing it really apologetically. You're in between packs. So you might be like in the midst of changing soul tribes, friend groups, like whatever it is. But there's something about not hiding in your individualness, not hiding in your being like a singular essence. There's doing it triumphantly, doing it really proudly, unapologetically. And there's also something about not holding yourself back. That maybe sometimes, you know, which is interesting because people wouldn't think about this for Gemini, because they are like staunch individualists, but there's something about being in a group or in a community, something like that, that really kind of emboldens a Gemini, that when you have to stand on your own a little bit, because you play that devil's advocate, sometimes you could talk yourself out of like your own greatness. Don't do that this week. This is like a week that you can, that's a lot on one card. This is a week that you can really like prove to yourself that like you can go it alone, that you don't necessarily need a shout out or community support, or like you don't need that, because this sea serpent's coming out, and I love that it has this evil eye energy in it, right? Which means that like nothing's really gonna take you down. It's like you're protected. You're also very aware of any obstacles or any challenges or any naysayers that are around you. And it's almost the idea that you need to be fully aware of them, but you need to move forward anyway, right? Because, you know, with the serpent, it's a little bit like the Ouroboros, which like for me always represents a little bit of that Wheel of Fortune energy, that cycle is really coming to a close and something else is about to open up for you. But now this is starting to feel like a little bit of a compass. But you need to follow like your true north. You need to follow your true north, and it will lead you to your next pack. But in the midst of that, it's gonna also lead you to like a better you. A better you. It's a very heavy week for Gemini. It's just like personal development, right? Maybe it's some of it's spiritual development, but a lot of it feels like it's heavy personal development. You got the shark in reverse too. Yeah, whatever you thought was a challenge, or whatever you thought, like whomever you thought didn't have your back, like anything like that, there's almost the idea of recognizing that if you would fall anything like that with people, it's honestly, it was better for you, it was protection for you, because they couldn't keep up with you. There's a sense of part of the reason you may be shifting packs and needing to learn this a higher caliber of autonomy and agency right now is so that way you can not only fully step like more into your purpose, but also find a pack that can keep up with you. And it feels like it's intellectually. It can keep up with you intellectually. And there's also something about trust and safety within the pack. You shouldn't have to worry about people within your pack. Because again, the shark is a bit of an opportunistic energy. It is a little bit of like that predator energy. It's like the frenemy, keep your enemies closer, friend or foe. That's bullshit. There's enough stuff going on in the world that like is trying to distract you, interfere with you. That behavior should not be tolerated within your pack. And so you need to be mindful of that. keep those priorities very present to you as you are standing in a greater level of sovereignty and switching over into packs. Some of you might actually, with these retrograde energies, you might find that there are older people that you haven't talked to or dealt with in a really long time, realizing that they are actually part of your true soul pack, but you disconnected from them for a period of time because of some of the things that I mentioned earlier, right? Like wanting more community support. Maybe someone had more status. Maybe someone seemed like they were more adept in a field that you're in, and so you aligned yourself with them, but then had to deal with all of these really janky energies. You may be realigning to some older people as part of your new pack, if that makes any sense to you. Spider at the top of the deck. This is all about connectivity. This is about community. This is about networking. But with all of these colors, it talks about in a really balanced way. You may be redefining your idea of interpersonal relationships, friendships, stuff like that, because that spider in the middle for me brings in a lot of energy of the magician, that you are able to alchemize, you are able to manifest, you are able to work most efficiently when your environment is really balanced and harmonious. And that includes the people and the things that are in your environment as a part of your support system. So I see you really curating that at a much higher level after you get done really standing again in this autonomy, in this sovereignty, and really triumphantly standing on your own, right? And there's also a sense of not asking for permission. You don't have to ask for permission to drive your own ball down the field, right? Right. So, let's see. Natalie, you're so funny. I don't have Gemini in my chart. You got a third house, though. But this resonates. I've been working on not being so isolated, just like you said. Wolves run in packs. I'm in between soul groups, expanding my work. Yeah, me too. And listen, you know, the important thing to remember, and this is something I've had to learn so many times, is that when God wants to promote you, he will separate you first. He will separate you so he'll break you down a little bit, and then he'll build you back up bigger than you were before, and then he will promote you. But people come in for reasons, seasons, and lifetimes. And sometimes we don't know what that is until we end the end of a season, right? And see who's kind of still standing there. You know what I mean? Like I just went through a season, and not a lot of people that I was in the previous season with are standing with me now. But there are a few like ride or dies who are. And I know that those people that are still there, they're coming with me into my next season. But God will separate you, and it can be isolating and it can be really lonely, but to really come into that close level of intimacy with the divine, to again develop yourself spiritually, personally, emotionally. Like you need to kind of just be there on your own doing it, because it reinforces your faith that all you need is to believe in yourself. All you need is God, and the rest of the puzzle pieces will be filled in, right? That's something I've had to learn time and time and time again. And you know what? This last season I just went through, it broke my heart. It broke my pride. It broke my back. It was one of the most difficult seasons that I have been through since I started this journey. And I have been through a lot of difficult seasons, but I am grateful for the isolation. I am grateful for the loneliness. I am grateful for the heartbreak, because what it taught me is irreplaceable. And had I not gone through that, I would not be sitting here on Collective Coffee right now. I would not be in the mindset that I am. I wouldn't be working at the efficiency, at the caliber, with the level of self-discipline, control, the focus that I have now, had I not just gone through like all of that stuff. So I'm grateful for it, because it really reaffirmed my faith, and it proved to me that as long as I believe in myself, God will take care of the rest. And so those seasons are really important. But again, he will isolate you, or she or they or it, whatever you drive with. God will isolate you before he promotes you. It's a party. Hey, Corey. Yeah, we having a collective coffee party. Heck yes. Working coming out of a 3-year isolation purge, and it's a balance of being open while trusting myself and myself. Yeah. Because you got to get the layers of the world off of you, right? Every relationship, every friendship, every success, every disappointment, every opinion, everything, every experience. It sinks itself on top of us like these layers, like this armor. It's like rust, and needing to get like this divine power washing so that we can kind of come back to like your original sparkle, right? Which sounds so cheesy, like put it on a coffee mug, but it is true, right? So when you do show up, you show up as yourself, right? We always say like your most authentic self, but it's just to show up as you. CLR to clean up, yeah. So much of the spiritual journey is not becoming anything. It's not growing into anything. It's unbecoming the things that you learn, that happen to you, that you experience. In my opinion, the spiritual journey is less of a process of becoming something and more of unbecoming all of the things that weren't actually who you were. Girl, I accept your love. I accept your love and I return it back to you. Deconditioning, absolutely. Cancer. Unfucking the fuckery. Yeah. It's like straightening out like the ball of yarn. You know what I mean? Oh, did you just hear the jersey come out of me? Oh my god. I was like, the ball of yarn. Oh God in heaven. Oh sweet God. When I get like really impassioned, it's like the jersey comes out of me. Oh dear Lord. And I snort. The yuan. You're gonna get the ball of yuan, we're gonna go get a coffee. Which is very north, that's very North Jersey. I went to college in North Jersey, so I do, and I worked for people from North Jersey for like a long time, so I pick up a little bit of it, but I'm from like Central Jersey. I'm from like the Jersey Shore. Lord in heaven. Sweet, sweet Lord in heaven. Alright. Alright, Cancer. 40, go 46. 46 minutes. After my little 10-minute rant. My 10-minute motivational speech. The yuan. Ooh, the bear. Oh, Cancer. This is so funny because this is my Cancerian card. It's so nurturing, it's so motherly, it's so protective. I'm wondering if you're going in a cave, if you're coming out of a cave. This is the thing. I feel it. Dana! Hi! It's the Pink Peony Oracle. So, I think that your instinct this week, Cancer, is to go into your crab shell. It's to go into the cave. It's to go into hibernation. But the fact that the bear is up, it's leaning forward in that masculine energy. Girl, you do sparkle. You sparkle every day. You sparkle in every room that you come into. Trust me, I've been in many rooms with you. But the fact that this bear is kind of leaning in tells me that even if your instinct is to go into the cave, which is very symbolic of the womb, right, for growth, for recharging, that it feels like you're being guided to kind of come out into the wilderness. And this little sunlight above the bear's head, it almost feels like a light bulb going off, like right as you decide to kind of, I'm gonna take a rest, I'm gonna take a nap, I'm just gonna take the week and just have like an internal process. It almost feels like some kind of divine idea, something comes in that gets you to like lean up in like curiosity. It's almost like an on the hunt energy. Into the thick of it, the elk in reverse. This is someone else for you, Cancer. It feels like there's someone else in the environment, because this is my King of Pentacles card or my King of Wands card, depending on the energy that day. It feels like there's someone else in the environment that may not be doing what they're supposed to do, upholding their responsibility. It feels like there's shit that needs to get done, and someone isn't working to the best of their abilities, and it's almost like it's not my circus, not my monkeys, like I'm just gonna slink back and kind of just watch the chaos play out. But then immediately there's like some kind of idea for like a solution, and it feels like you're rising to kind of do whatever this elk isn't doing. This could also, at the same time, I can see this both ways. This could also be an indication of how maybe, Cancer, you've fallen off of some of your responsibilities lately in an effort to regroup and to recharge, right? To heal, do any of that. So you might have let some things, some projects, some people, some shit fall by like the wayside, and there is a very much of a push to get you back on the ball this week. Back on the ball. And this is very much of a collective energy that everyone's tired. No one's sleeping well. The astral's been shit fuck bananas. Everything's in retrograde, right? It's like everyone just kind of like snuggle up and just rest, but the divine is really pushing everyone forward because it's like this finish line energy to get to like the next chapter. It's like go I know you're tired, just squint one eye and just keep moving. Cancer's always in and out of a cave because you're like a little boop boop, like in your little shell. The fox. This is about being creative. This is also a divine detour, which is less of a detour and it's more of a not what you had planned for. It's like an added responsibility is coming in for you this week. A new idea. It's like when they decided that, hey, you're going to start doing Sunday service and collective coffee again. And I was like, I had not planned to do that on Sundays. I had just finally scheduled Sundays off for myself. They're like, well, congratulations. Now you're doing this for 4 hours on Sunday. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's like it's not something that you had planned. But it is something, because it's the fox, coyotes are a little bit of like trickster energies. It is something, and maybe it will apply to your nurturing nature, to want to take care of people that maybe aren't being serviced properly. Maybe it will apply to a little bit of your competitive nature, like whatever it is. It's some kind of like little funny pulling of the strings of the divine this week to get you up and to get you at 'em. When does Jupiter go direct? Sea serpent. Yeah, it's time to wrap up this cycle. You are protected. This is an important message, though, too, with the you are protected, that God sends peace ahead of you. So when you go into a new situation, when you start a new project, and it seems to be going pretty well, going pretty smoothly, that's because the divine went ahead of you and cleared out some of the obstacles that otherwise, like, you may have faced. So for some of you, maybe you fell off your responsibilities because maybe you were pursuing something and it just didn't seem like it was going well. So maybe you thought, it's not for me, I'll put it on a shelf, I'll step back from it, like, I'll take a minute, right? But now the divine is asking you to try again. That's what it is. Don't go into the cave, Cancer. Whatever it is that you were trying before that wasn't working, try it again this week, because you may find that it may go a lot smoother for you. It might go a lot more quickly for you, and it almost feels like it's a bit of a joke. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You want me to go and try that again? I just tried that 2 months ago and it didn't work. That project didn't work. People didn't buy it. There were no viable options there. And the divine's like, we shit you not. Go back there and try it and see how much better it is. The black egg. Yeah, and this is also, the black egg for me indicates a lot of shadow work. So this is an opportunity for your shadow to ascend this week, right? To not begrudge the process, that when you try something and it doesn't work, when the divine offers you another opportunity to engage in it again, to not be like, oh, well, I tried it and it didn't work. And so, you know, like, don't do that. That's the shadow trying to self-sabotage you, right? It's an opportunity for you to ascend the shadow this week by doing that, by trying something again that didn't work out for you last time, because maybe you weren't in the right energy, maybe the right people weren't there, maybe the energy around there wasn't good, but it seems to be a lot better for you this week. Buffalo, this is a tower moment. There's something surprising coming in, and it's gonna shake you up this week. So just be ready for it. But the thing is it feels good. It feels like the tower moment that you need. Not all tower moments are bad, right? They're shocking, they're surprising. It's something you didn't, again, it's something you didn't plan for, it's something you didn't prepare for. It's like a floodgate opening. So, and it's gonna require your shadow to ascend and not back off of something just because it didn't work before. What if it works this time? You don't want to miss that opportunity, right? Right. October 17th. Angels, go ahead and prepare the place. You just have to walk. That's right. Hey, Wilfie. How you doing? I am good. I hope you're good. Your art has been great. You've been putting up new stuff on Instagram. I saw that. Really excellent work lately. Your work's always good, but something about lately, you're like really zoned in. All right. Leo. Come on through, Leo. Look, Leo, you got my dog barking. It's not really my dog, it's my mom's dog. Tiger. So about integrity, you feel pissed. With the dog barking like that? Why does this tiger feel annoyed? Was this an energy for you last week too? It's the energy of like... So, retrograde, I have to speak very mindfully. So, the tiger in general talks a lot about transmuting anger and frustration into fuel for your fire, right? It also indicates that you are very much protected, but it talks about the transmutational properties of turning anger into fuel and motivation. However, the white tiger in particular symbolically talks about virtue, and it talks about integrity. And so it is the idea of feeling a little annoyed, and it may become very apparent to you this week, or it may just be something that you're processing this week. And it's like almost that someone sold you like a false bill of goods, or someone kind of played you, or someone misrepresented themselves, and that's caused you to make a misjudgment on a situation, on a person, on a project, something like that, and feeling as though you would not have made that decision had you not been misled, miscommunicated to, something like that. There's something about the integrity and the virtue. It's almost like you're not as virtuous as I thought, like you're not as honest as I thought you were, like I wouldn't have done that. But it's basically the idea of processing that maybe you trusted a situation or you trusted someone that perhaps you shouldn't have, which I also feel like might have been a message for you last week as well, but I don't remember because I do so many readings and I tend to black out when I do them. But the beaver is coming out next, and so the beaver for me is like an 8 of Pentacles card. It talks about work, and the 8 of Pentacles is also a card of mastery. So one, Leo, I think you're realizing that through the integration of whatever this is for you, you will not make this mistake again. You will not allow other people or a situation or external circumstances to determine how you feel about a person or a project or external circumstances. You will decide that entirely for yourself from now on. You will not make this mistake. But with this 8 of Pentacles, which is it's a form of mastery for you, self-mastery, it feels like it's somehow connected to work. It's connected to work. Almost like someone told you there was a job available for you and it wasn't. Someone told you someone wasn't trustworthy to work with, so you didn't work with them. Like it's that kind of energy, feeling as though you missed out on some kind of opportunity because someone led you astray. But you will not make this mistake again. And also, if I'm hearing regroup, you will regroup very quickly. I don't know if this is something that just happened or this is something that previously happened and you're just, again, processing the wisdom from it now. But we have earth and we have fire here, right? So we need a little water and we need a little air. After you're done with this, the illumination with the fire and then the grounding and the integrating of the wisdom from it with that earth, we need a little water. So if you haven't processed any emotions, even like grieving, weeping, whatever, because anger is really just another form of pain, that probably needs to come in. And then with the air, which is kind of giving you a clean and new mind, a clean and new perspective. But I do see you regrouping very quickly. Kicking it back now. There you go. The deer in reverse with the butterfly in reverse. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to keep pulling on that, but the deer, the butterfly, and the cosmic egg in reverse. With the scorpion, like I said, you're pissed. You're really pissed. It just feels like something got snuck past you in a way that, you know, we could even go like super like metaphysical and say like an energy breached your field when you weren't paying attention, or, you know, maybe you caught an energy that seemed like it was going to help you and it was a trickster energy. Like it could even be very metaphysical like that, or someone just, even in the very practical, someone just got something kind of past you a little bit. And it's the idea of trust people when they show you who they are the first time, right? Because again, as I said earlier, this deer is like a divine feminine card. It's like it's soft, it's receptive, it's flowing, it's intuitive, it's graceful, right? And it feels like that's how a situation or an energy or a person presented themselves to you. But over time, like it didn't transform, it didn't grow with you. And it's the idea of like that cycle. It's almost the idea of like feeling as though maybe you hung on to it for a while because you wanted to see it play out. You wanted closure, you wanted added minutes, you wanted an apology, something like that. But there is that a leopard doesn't change its spots, but that's okay because you're a tiger. Does that make sense? And with this scorpion, right? Scorpion can be like a little bit aggressive. There's a point of impact here. There's a point of impact here. However, scorpionic energy in and of itself is incredibly transformative. So like I said, you will never make this mistake again. You will never allow the way a situation looks on the surface, the opinion that someone gives you about a situation, about a person. You will never let anyone or anything else decide for you again. This was necessary so you could come into this level of the mastering of your autonomy and your own opinions about certain things and your own decision-making skills. And so it did more for you than it did to you, but I do recognize it's annoying. If need be, try and incorporate a bit of physicality to work through any the anger or the aggression that you have, right? So that way you can switch that over into the water realm and have like an emotional purging. Exercise is really good for that. You know, we talk about shadow work. Do journal, cry, do all this. You know what's a great way to do your shadow work? Exercise. Go for a run. You know what I mean? Go punch a punching bag. Go do 50 crunches. Go hiking. Go physically exert, right? That is one of the most effective ways to do shadow work. So, Leo, that's what I would do, just so you could click over to the emotional realm and then have the air come in and give you a bit of a new mind. Yes? Yes. Hi, Tiana. Memoirs. Hello. Hello, Takra. Screaming and hiking. Yeah, sometimes you gotta just scream into the void, man. I'm really good at that. And I said it in my thoughts from the trail video, whenever I'm trying to work something out, like I'll just go on a hike. I'll just go hike for 6 hours. If I have a question I'm pissed about, like whatever it is, I will literally walk it out from point A to point B. And by the time I hit that 6 mile mark, I feel better. I feel clear. I feel more aligned. I feel like me and God are best friends again. Like I'm good. Like I just feel better. I originally wanted to go on a little hike tomorrow, but it's going to be like 88 friggin' degrees tomorrow, and that's too hot. But after that in Jersey, it's sinking down to like 69, like 70 degrees for the rest of the week. That's what I'm talking about. A little 65 to 72 degrees. That's where I'm happy. That's where I'm happy. I don't like to be hot. I'm not trying to be hot. That's not my portion. Sweating is not my portion. All right, Virgo. It's hot right now. I get so cranky when I'm hot. I really do. All right, Virgo, 61 minutes. So, an hour and 1 minute. All right, we got the peacock in reverse. What's going on with that? And the vulture. Virgo, you feel like you're really sick of playing roles this week, wearing masks, it's like not wanting to fit in anymore. Because when the peacock comes upright, it's really a sign of individuality, 9 of Pentacles, self-worth, personal expression, pride, creativity, all of that stuff. But when it comes through in reverse, it's the energy of ego, of trying to put on a performance sometimes, trying to fit in, feeling personally like very much restricted. But the vulture is coming out, which talks about an intense purge and cleansing process that's going in. And so perhaps there's like a bit of a shadow aspect or shadow work coming forward about ways in which your ego really gets in your own way, gets you to assimilate into groups that really aren't for you, get you to try certain projects, promote yourself in a certain way, show up in the world that really isn't who you are, but it's a way that seems like it is most effective in getting you what you want because it works for other people. But what works for one won't necessarily work for two, right? And it may not necessarily work for you. And so there is that aspect of that. And again, Virgos are very particular about things that sometimes you can kind of build yourself a little bit of your own prison. And it's also recognizing that you have the key and you have the ability to be adaptable, right? You don't have to be an Irishman. Virgo, the Irish will decide to do something even if it's not right for them, and they will do it forever. They will never let up on that. Trust me, I know. And so that's something that you are kind of need to realize, that admitting to yourself, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. That's not the way I want to do it anymore. I'm going to need to allow myself the permission to change that so I can show up the way I want. So that way you can actually feel like really proud of yourself, feel like you are proud of your personal expressions, like you're sitting in worthiness. It's a feeling of like needing to really purge out the need that you have to compromise your integrity, your expression, your individuality to fit in with other people because it seems like it will be more successful for you. It may not. Woo. No shortcuts. Yeah, Cobra in reverse. This is you realizing in a lot of ways. One, that shortcuts don't work for you, but also this has a lot to do with people, that you don't want to, we become our environments. It doesn't matter how strong, how autonomous, how much agency you have. We are products of our environments, right? So that's the media that you consume. That's how you spend your free time. That's the people you surround yourself with. You know what I mean? We are like sponges as people. And so this is also you realizing that maybe part of the issue that you've been having is that you've been too much of a reflection of your environment, and that environment needs to change. That maybe some of the people around you are maybe a little bit materialistic. Maybe they're a little bit superficial. Maybe they like to take shortcuts, right? Maybe they cut things off. They purge things out too quickly without actually processing them, doing the hard work. They skip steps, and you don't want to be a part of that anymore because it's not having a positive impact on you. So some of this week for you is taking accountability in ways in which you've allowed yourself to potentially move in ways that are not the most efficient for you, not the healthiest for you, that have taken you out of your own personal expression, right? Because of the environment that you're in, right? We are in control, and so there is a level of accountability there, that I let these things affect me, right? I absorb too much of the energy from the people around me, and it got me moving in a way that doesn't work for me. But that also means that you have the ability to change that. So some of you may actually be changing some of your social circles and stuff like that as well. Yeah, because the bat and then the wolf in reverse is coming out. And when the wolf comes out in reverse, just like the emperor, it's a very oppressive energy. It's very dominating. And, you know, this bat card for me talks a lot about intuition, but with the moon there, and also talks about intuitive impulses that you might not have been picking up on appropriately, realizing how much of an impact some of the people around you, even some of the entertainment that you are consuming, stuff in the environment, that it's not been having the best impact on you, and there's a need for you to change it, even if, like what we were talking about before, even if you have to kind of go it alone, go in your natural hermit mode for a little bit, right? So you kind of deconstruct that so you can be built up bigger, brighter, in a more integral way. But I do see you doing like a big spring cleaning in your environment and with your friend groups as well. It's the idea of wanting to be surrounded by people that have integrity, have character, that are ambitious, goal-oriented, hardworking, just like you are, right? Just like you are. The octopus and then the crow. The octopus talks about staying under the radar, and I think you know that. With that crow, that's another very intuitive card, that it's time to kind of slink away and de-invest from some people, places, and things that aren't that are more of a hindrance than a help to you, right? Definitely has a miss. Yeah. You're welcome. It's still hot. I don't like to be hot. I just don't. It's just not for me. Like, I could never live in a place like Florida or like Arizona. Like, it's too hot. It's too hot. Like if I lived in California, I'd have to live in like Northern California. You know what I mean? Like, I live in like Washington State. Like, Colorado gets a lot of snow. Like, like North, like, it's just, I don't do well in the heat. It's just not for me. I always say, like, I love Louisiana. Like, one of my big dreams and goals has always been to move full-time to Louisiana, because I love it. I love the French Quarter. I love the Garden District. I love New Orleans. I love Abita. I love Louisiana so much, but it's so friggin' hot that I would lose my mind. I would become one of those crazy people on the news that, like, broke into a Walmart, threw myself in an ice bin. I just can't. I've lived in both Florida and Arizona. I couldn't do it. Southern California pushes my limits. Yeah, I'd have to be north. I'd have to be Northern California. Just moved from Florida to New York, and I love it. Yeah. New York State is nice. I like New York City a lot. You would, the funny thing about big cities like New York, especially for, like, you would think for energetically sensitive people that we actually wouldn't do well in, like, hustle and bustle kind of urban surroundings, but I find that really intuitive people actually do really well in those settings, because there's so much energy, there's so much busyness, there's so much that you're not like the center of the focus. There's so many other people, places, and things available to absorb that energy, so you actually don't get sucked up into it because you're not the only vessel for it, if that makes any sense. You get to be a part of the hum as opposed to the vessel of the hum. Does that make sense? Ole Miss, hot and humid. Nope, that's a no from me, Chief. I don't like humid. Dry heat? Sure. Humid? No. And this is the thing, I love the South. Like, I love the South, but it's just too hot. I would get very unchristian very quickly. I really would. South Carolina, can't do it. No. That's why I'm in northern Canadian girl. Yeah. I would rather be in a foot of snow than in 100-degree weather any day of the week. Any day of the week, because you can always put on more layers. It's too hot. You could be out there in your birthday suit and you could still be melting. I can't have it. Can't have it. Not on my watch. South Texas is pretty hot and humid. Yeah. I was getting messages for a while like, Lauren, maybe you should consider Texas. And I was like, maybe we should consider a really big air conditioner. Absolutely not. It's too hot. It's too hot. I become unpleasant. It gets too hot. Like, I feel hot in this room right now, and I'm already like, I'm feeling sassy because it's like, it's too hot. But that being said, Jersey's actually really nice because we get all the seasons, right? So it's hot in the summer, but it's only hot for like 3 months, right? And it's really cold in the winter, but it's only like really cold for like 3 months, 4 months, you know what I mean? And then we have fall and spring, which are my favorite because they're temperate, right? I'm a Sagittarius moon. I like temperance. I like moderate climate. And I like it. It's like we get snow and then it gets real hot and then we have the spring flowers and then we have the autumn leaves. Like, I like to have all of the season. It makes me feel like more in sync. And we have mountains and we have rivers and we have beaches and we have cities and we have suburbs and like Jersey has everything. We have farmlands. Like, Jersey has everything. Like, it is like kind of like a perfect state in that sense, but it's just so expensive to live in New Jersey. It's so brutally expensive. Even like just like the apartments, it's like it's so expensive to live in Jersey. It's out of control. Being hot is worse than PMS. Yeah, it makes me just like a violent and unpleasant person. As the shark comes out, that's just spirit confirming that I'm a real pain in the ass when I get too hot. So, who's next? Libra. Libra. So that's an hour and 11 minutes. Whoa, shit. Oh, dude, so, Libra, your reading's starting at an hour and 11 minutes. 111. And 111 is a big theme for Libra season for a variety of reasons, which we will talk about when I do my Libra season video, either later today or later this week. All right. I got sidetracked on the hot thing. Swan. All right, Libra. So the Swan's coming out for you this week. You know, maybe it's your birthday season. It's your birthday month. The Swan talks a lot about self-reflection. We always tend to do like a year review around the new year, and we tend to do a year review around our birthdays as well. Right? So you might be doing that and really noticing ways in which you've grown in a lot of ways. The reflection of the Swan, they are equal in dimensions and proportions. And so you might be finding some solace this week, seeing, or at least the very least energetically feeling like there is balance. Like whatever you had to go through, whatever was taken away from you this past year, it feels like your birthday season is when it starts to kind of get redeemed and equality comes back into the mix. I think you're going to start seeing signs of equality this week. Like, it's like a sign of life. It's like a sign of hope. Some of you might have been praying for like a sign of hope. Peacock in reverse. Beautiful. So this Swan energy is also, it's very Venusian, right? And I think part of this peacock is really coming into a greater sense of self-love, a greater sense of self-love. You might actually have like an opportunity this week that actually kind of triggers you a little bit to stand more in your worthiness, stand in your sense of self-empowerment, self-love, just like a little test from the divine, just to affirm to you that you actually do have a greater sense of self-esteem this week. And there's a quote that I love that it goes, self-esteem comes from doing esteemable acts. Right? Your value and your worthiness is inherent just as like an extension of the divine, but self-esteem comes from doing esteemable acts. And I think when you do this year review for yourself, now that it's your birthday season, you might be seeing all of the esteemable acts that you've really accomplished over the past year. And that's really giving you like a new sense of pride, right? the Gazelle is coming out, and the Gazelle is coming out in reverse. So the thing about the Gazelle is they are quite majestic and they are very graceful, but what they do is they're a little bit skittish. They're always moving away from predators, right? And I think because you are realizing how many esteemable acts you've done, how much you've actually grown, how much you really love yourself in a new way for doing that, I don't think that you're as easily spooked off from situations, from conflicts. I think maybe in the past, Libra, when normally a challenge or an obstacle will arise and you kind of back off from it, I think you actually lean in a little bit more. Right now I was about to say that masculine energy. And then you have the wolf. You've been slowly coming into this like great sense of empowerment. And I think this week is like when you recognize it. I think you've been doing it for a long time and you haven't actually been recognizing it, but there's something that happens this week that you actually do start to recognize it. And I love that this lamb is coming out, and the lamb for me, it's a very soft energy. It's very gentle. It's also very innocent. And so there's something about you realizing, again, part of the balance, part of the equality is maybe you were going through the past year a little bit of like a Goldilocks kind of situation, too hot, too cold, too mushy, too hard, right? That you can be very much an individual while also still being able to assimilate well with people, right? You can stand strong in the face of adversity, but also be aware and mindful enough of when to adjust. You can stand very much in this place of empowerment, right? But you can move so intentionally with this kind of turtle. You're able, kind of like the Knight of Pentacles, to keep on moving, even if it's a slow pace, recognizing that progress is still progress. And despite all of that, you haven't allowed it to steal your sweetness, right? You're still able to be in this masculine energy, be strong, be empowered, be an individual, but also still be sweet, still be soft, still keep your innocence, that the battles that you've been through haven't hardened you as much as maybe they used to in the past. And that's really a sign of accomplishment. So I just see you really giving yourself very much of like a pat on the back this week. And again, there may be a situation that arises just that will allow you to affirm this to yourself and see yourself in a bit of a different light than you have been seeing yourself in a long time. Because again, I think you've been doing this for a while, but I don't think you've been successfully recognizing the progress that you made, and a situation may come forward for you this week to really show you how far you've come, so you can actually really see it and understand your progress in a way that previously you just haven't. Steamable acts, yeah. You may be welcome here in the west of Ireland. You'd already have a Mal here. I would do well. I would do whenever. It's so funny. I was driving around the other day and it was kind of hot and it was like real sunny and I was just like, ugh. I was like, I wish it was gloomy today. I was like, I wish it was like 65 and it was just pouring rain and gloomy today. I was like, that's my favorite weather. And I was like, why? Who does that? Who looks at like a beautiful, like warm, sunny day and goes, I'd rather it be cold and rainy and miserable? And then it just like clicked in my head. I was like, oh, that's my ancestors. Like that's my Irish blood right there. That's 70%, 75% Irish blood, like my ancestors. I just want to be around a hearth, like just rainy, and then they get a big sweater, just like cold and gloomy, like drinking a beer, tending my flock. Like that's what I want. That's my ancestors coming through me. I'm outside too long. My Irish ancestors are just like, go inside and have a potato. Go chill the fuck out. Oh my God. Oh, I love that, Sherry. Glow from the sunlight, yeah. That came through in one of the monthlies. It might have been Pisces or it might have been Aries, where it's like I held the card up and it was so bright and I was like, you know, it's like your future is like so bright, or your visions are so bright that you can't even see them for yourself. I was like, wow. Chilling inside if it's raining. I actually feel a lot more productive when it's like raining, because it's like there's nothing else to do. Who's next? Scorpio. Scorpio. So we have an hour and 17 minutes. All right, Scorpio. Tell me what you want. What you really, really want. That's funny. I heard Zagat, like a Zagat guide, which I don't think you actually want like a restaurant review guide. But it's you want more guidance. You want more guidance this week. I think maybe it's too hot. I can't live like this. It's inhumane. You want more guidance this week, Scorpio. I just want to know what I'm doing. I just want to know what I'm doing. I want to see, like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? It almost feels like you got sent on a path without any instructions. Without any instructions. You don't know where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do. The bat. Yeah, with the Phoenix coming out in reverse. It's like, I thought I was going to be farther along by now. Like, I've been trying to follow the signs, right? It's like bats, they have that kind of like echolocation, but it's like my intuition's like not getting me very far. It's just like really wanting to have some kind of concrete guidance. It's almost like felt as though yeah, I definitely, if you guys are on the Patreon, definitely check out the Scorpio, your monthly reading, because this is kind of a similar message to your monthly reading. It's almost like I thought this path, or I thought this change was gonna lead to the rebirth. Why isn't it leading to the rebirth? I feel you having like a staff meeting a little bit with spirit this week. Maybe your ancestors too. There's also something, because the bat for me is a lot of ancestral energy. There's something about needing to incorporate more ancestor work into perhaps like your personal practice, or talking to your ancestors more, or spending more time with them, which is interesting because we were just talking about my ancestors, right, when I was talking about Ireland. Needing to do that more. It's like your angels, your deities, your guides, like they're amazing. They're a completely fundamental part of your support system, but like so are your ancestors. Also something about not paying enough attention to your ancestors, that they have just as many answers for you, and that they want to help you, but you kind of have to tag them in. You kind of got to tag them in a little bit. The crow, which is your intuition. Yeah. Look, they have like the whole world. They have like just as much access to the plan and the path as, again, your angels, your deities, your spirit guides, all of that kind of stuff. You got to call them in. You got to call them in. But it's also feeling like it might not have occurred to some of you to go like, hey, grandma, like, hey, I need some help over here. Here you are. In order to have like really like much more of that transformative process for yourself, much more, because now the little this light, it almost feels like a little bit like a lamp, right? Like a little bit of like that hermit lamp. They have answers for you. The answers in which you seek lie with the ancestors this week. And it's not just like this big expanded, oh, my ancestor, like it's like your grandma, or like your grandpa, or it's like your uncle. It's like your immediate ancestors. The wolf's coming out a lot this week. They're gonna lead you through the fire. It doesn't about, they've done it before. The moth. An increase in your psychic abilities. There's something about how this week, it's going to stretch your intuition, your clair abilities, your intuitive impulses. They need to grow. They need to be stretched. It's part of the reason. It's not that there aren't instructions, there aren't guidance, but you haven't been able to pick up on them like the receiver. So it's the idea of like you needing to kind of move to another radio station. It's like needing to push through the resistance in your intuition. You might have to spend like extra time in meditation, or with divination particularly try to reach out to like particular ancestors. Like there's something about that. It's just that your intuition, it wants to expand. It needs to expand. Some of you might need like a cleanse. Like cleanse the vessel, cleanse the body a little bit in order to hear more clearly, or like clear out your space, or go to a place that's kind of quiet, out in nature, something like that. Whatever normal tools you use to pull in guidance, readings, angel numbers, like whatever it is, those tools are changing, and it's not because they're not available to you anymore. It's because like your ancestors use different methods of communication than the angels, the guides, the deities that you normally work with. They have different modes of communication, and so you need to be able to decipher them. So that's part of keeping your eyes open, right? That's part of the reason my channel is called Untitled Tarot, because spirit speaks every language. So once you find out how you most effectively communicate with them, that's your personal dialect. But once you know that, you're able to then expand your intuition and pick up other ways and methodologies in which they will give you messages, and that's how you become spiritually multilingual. And so that seems to be an exercise that's going on for you this week, Scorpio, is that different aspects of your spirit team use different modalities to communicate with you. And so the way or the places in which you're normally looking for messages and you're not finding them, it's not that they're not there, it's that they're in a different tool, they're coming in a different way. You need to be kind of looking in unusual places for it, and that is where you will find your guidance. Fish, right? This is flow, this is abundance, this is money, this is movement, this is good fortune. That's where you're going to find it. Check water. Maybe with that fish, water, go by a body of water. Maybe try and take like a spiritual bath, like sit in it, maybe try water scrying. You might also need to, speaking of, drink more water when you're stuck in stagnant energy. You might need more water. You feel really grounded. It feels like you probably are grounding a lot. Root vegetables, root chakra, all that stuff. But you need a crown expansion. There isn't an issue with the root, there's an issue with the crown. And the way to get energy to flow most effectively is by drinking a lot more water. Honestly, it helps break that up. That's going to help you with your crown expansion. Just chilling inside of training. Scorpio moon, so true. In one of your readings a while ago, you said, we feel like we are going in circles, but you were just circling up the mountain. Yeah. It's like the elder break in case of emergency. Spirit team coming into assist. Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I totally understand that, because for the absolute longest time, just see, this is crazy. For the longest time, I was talking to my angels, my spirit guides, deities, different ascended masters that I was working with, but I always like ignored my family. Like I always ignored like my ancestors. And once I stopped doing that so much, I found that there was a lot more assistance, there's a lot more support, things were moving a lot more easily for me, right? Because they will help, right? Because you also get like you get a general spiritual inheritance from God, your creator, he, she, they. But there's also like an added ancestral abundance, and you can't connect and receive your ancestral abundance unless you're actually working with your ancestors, right? All right, Sagittarius. An hour and 25 minutes. I think a good time. An hour and a half. What, the first collective card was 2.5 hours. Last week was 2 hours. We're on like an hour and a half. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Center, Sagittarius. You need to center this week. Feels like you have a lot of energy. You have a lot of energy this week, but you kind of don't know what to do with it. So it might be kind of like burning you out or short-circuiting it. This week might be a good time for hobbies, for crafts, something tactile to get out excess energy. You have excess energy right now. Whale. It's coming up from your emotional body. I think as you are unblocking these different emotional blockages or overcoming these emotional hurdles that you've had, Sagittarius, it's giving you an increase in energy, but you might not know, you can't see it so bright, you might not know exactly what to do with it. Some of it is just excess. It's just been blocked and pent up, and now it's coming up to be released. So you don't necessarily, it's almost like, how do I want to put it? How do I want to put that? How do I want to put that? So whatever was blocked, it just needs to come out and get released. And when that happens, the new energy, your new energy will come up, and that can be utilized for your projects and stuff like that. It almost reminds me of at the end of the night when I worked at the bar. This is the only and the best example I have. We would turn off all the taps, right? All the beer taps. And then when we'd come in the morning, we'd have to run the old beer out of the lines that got left, right? When we were closed during the night, because that beer was stale, it was stagnant, it was flat, it was just sitting in the line. So we didn't use it, no one drank it, we just had to get that old beer out of the lines, so that way the new beer, when it finally came out, was fresh, and that was what we could actually serve. So you might want to do something physical, something crafty this week, just to get that excess energy out, right? Go run around the block, do a project, something like that, just to get that old excess energy out, just because it's unblocked now. And then the next wave of energy that you get, probably around Thursday, that you can use. That you can use. Yeah, sea serpent, you're closing up that cycle by just releasing that energy. Crocodile in reverse, everything's fine. There's no predators. Because sometimes when you have an excess of energy, it can make you feel a little paranoid or suspicious or just like a little bit squirrely, right? Everything's fine. Just recognize you have a little bit of excess adrenaline from that unblocked energy coming up. So just release it, earthworm, and then recycle it, right? This is what the earthworm means to me. It talks about recycling. It talks about making compost in a balanced way. Don't allow that excess energy, that excess adrenaline to, again, make you suspicious, paranoid. Don't allow it to make you angsty or aggressive. Just do something with it. Go do a little fall cleaning. Go rake up some leaves. Clean your house, organize some clothes, paint, do a project, play some music, you know what I mean? Like, go for a run, just get it out. Just get it out of you and you'll be feeling a lot better. You'll be feeling a lot better. And then that new energy, yeah, because I see the mouse. Get, like, any of those little details, do that excess energy for any strings or loose ends that needed to get tied up. Even just little errands, clean out your junk drawer, clean out your car, like, spend it on that shit, right? Because then the Phoenix energy comes up and that new burst of energy is going to come through and you're going to be able to utilize it in, like, a really good way. Hey, Amy. Hi, Lynn. You're not late. You're always on divine timing. We just finished up Sagittarius. So we have Capricorn and we have Aquarius next, and then we are all done. But you can always watch it on the replay later, and I've been timestamping it. I've been very responsible the last 2 weeks about timestamping, so it should be easy for you guys to go back after this. I'll put it in the comments. I'll pin it at the top so you guys can go and find it easy. Woo, you got a lot of energy, Sagittarius. I get that though. I have a Sagittarius moon, so I feel like, woo. Ow. Need a little water. You're almost like hurt my eyes, Sagittarius. God, we're gonna do an earth sign. Capricorn. Capricorn's always super grounded. Capricorn had the fastest monthly reading. Capricorn, your energy for October is like, it's like super efficient, which I like because I'm a Capricorn North node. So I like that efficiency. All right, so we got an hour and a half. We're making great time today, guys, which is good. Because I have more readings to do. I have more readings to do after this. Nora Jones. Come away with me to the night. Why is that song playing, Capricorn? It's kind of romantic. It's kind of like magical and like romantic. Come away with me to the night. Now they're trying to make like chocolate covered cherries or strawberries. It's like really, it's like romantic. Isn't it romantic? You know, like whimsical or like something like sweet, like something kind of sweet. Feels like it's happening for you this week. But it's like a like come away. It's like a whisper. It's like a very quiet invitation. It might not even actually be from like a person necessarily. It might be like this quiet invitation from spirit this week to like try something or like put yourself out there, or it's like that kind of thing. It's like some of the signs are like being kind of like pushed forward. You're just kind of being very quietly kind of beckoned. Lamb in reverse with the raccoon in reverse. Yeah, my little Capricorns, it's like you're such a hard worker, but I would say sometimes you hide yourself in your work. When the lamb comes out in reverse, it's almost the idea of like, sometimes you might feel like prey a little bit. Like you get taken advantage of or something like that. But again, it's like with this raccoon in reverse, there's more opportunity in your environment than I think you may be recognizing. That could even be like opportunity for love or companionship or friendship or something that like you feel really like good about, and you might not be realizing it. It's the feeling of like there are no safe people and there's like no safe places, and it's like I just stay focused like on my work, and it's like it's that kind of thing. And again, like Spirit's not gonna force you. They're not being heavy-handed with you this week, but there is like it's a very like quiet invitation, like, hey Capricorn, come over here, like check this out for a minute. Come check this out over here for a second. Like there might be something sweet over here that you weren't expecting, like waiting for you. Like it's kind of like a little bit of like a surprise energy. The turtle in reverse. There's areas of your life, Capricorn, and this applies very much to your monthly reading as well, which is a nice confirmation for me. But there's areas of your life that previously have been kind of stagnant, and you just kind of like have been hiding from them, and it feels like those areas are speeding up. Those areas are speeding up. It's almost like a very quiet invitation, and then like a lot of movement all at once. Ooh, my nose is going. My nose is going. Scorpion, transformation. Some of these areas that have been moving very slowly are about to speed up and really transform, but it's unexpected. You're not really seeing it coming. It's almost like, yeah, like I'll go, like, and it's almost like to like appease spirit. Like I see you this week going, you know what, fine, I'll put myself out there, like fine, I'll go to that place, like fine, I'll do that thing. But it's not because you actually expect anything out of it. It's just basically like you're trying to be like obedient to like instruction, just to like appease spirit, so that way they can't say that like you didn't listen to them, right? But there's something kind of like special. There's something kind of special. It's almost like a diamond in the rough kind of energy too, because the Scorpion's coming through again a little bit like that lamp, but it's almost like a lamp in like a dimly lit room. Like you have to get close to it, like in order to like see it properly. Fish in reverse. That's interesting. It's something in an area that doesn't seem like it's working out for you. Like the energy's not there. Like the movement's not there. Like the money's not there. Like why would you want me to go there, right? But you have to get close to like see it. The Panther. It puts your shadow a little bit on guard this week. With the black egg. Yeah, it's definitely putting your shadow on a little bit. One of the other signs had this. I forget which one of you it was, but it was the idea of just because it didn't work out like in the past, just because you had a hard time making friends in the past, or your business had a hard time getting like off the ground in the past, or just because like love didn't work out for you in the past, like it doesn't mean that it's not gonna not work out for you forever. Like sooner or later that pendulum has to swing, and it's almost like you're being asked to instead sit in this kind of King of Pentacles energy, which is really solid. And there is this question coming in. It's like, do you trust us or not, Capricorn? Because if you trust us, you'll go, and you'll go. You'll try it. Just try it. Just try it, right? It's very like, it's just try it. We're not gonna force you. Just try it. With the cosmic egg, completion, and stingray, balance, to bring more balance into your life and have a new beginning. I just heard Capricorn. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay, that's fine. It's fine, Capricorn. Again, it's not heavy-handed. You're not being forced. It's just an opportunity. Okay, I will. Right? Like it's just an opportunity. Do you free will. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Hey, Charlize. Popping in real fast. Can't stay. Oh, I love you so much. Thank you for saying hi. Thank you for the song this morning. Charlize is always sending me sweet beats. All right. Let's see. Aquarius. The age of Aquarius. That's that scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin at the very end of the movie, and they're singing Age of Aquarius. An hour and 37 minutes. Dusk till dawn. This damn Scorpion card. Is there? Oh, that's why. That's why it keeps coming up. Because Venus is in Scorpio. That's why. I was like, what the hell is with this damn Scorpion card? Because Venus is in Scorpio. Okay. A lot of lower chakras for you. A lot of yellow, a lot of orange. A lot of yellow, a lot of orange. I feel like you're making friends where once you had enemies this week, Aquarius. Huh. Because the lion and the gazelle are coming out of the scorpion. Coming out after the scorpion. And typically a gazelle would hop away from a lion, right? But the lamb is coming up next, which again is like very much of that sweet, soft, like innocent energy. There may be some like reconciliations for you this week, or it may be that you may actually realize that you have a lot more in common with people that you may perceive to be enemies or perceive to be in opposition, right? That maybe some of the reason certain people bother you is because you actually share a lot of certain qualities, like trying to reach like a level of excellence, or you have like a level of competitiveness, or you're both like really good at your job or in your field, or like there's something about that you're actually finding more in common with your what are perceived to be opponents or enemies this week than I think you may even be seeing with your friends. And it might have to do with that Venus in Scorpio, the intensity and the depth of passion that you both share for something. A cause, a social movement, an industry, a field, a form of artistry, something like that. Hummingbird. They're coming out in reverse. It's almost the idea of like, no one else gets it. That's interesting. The hummingbird is like a very loving energy. It's almost like there's something about you and another group of people that there's a level of commitment or passion that you have towards something that other people don't recognize. And even if you guys typically don't really like each other, you have that in common. It's like you have more important, and a lot of this might just be you reconstructing some of your ideas about relationships, that the things that you have in common are more important than your differences, if that makes any sense. The bee. And you actually can work together. You can actually work together. That you work better with your opponents than you do with your friends. How interesting. That's a really interesting energy. They actually bring out the best in you. There is something interesting about that. Or even, again, this all could just be like a deconstruction, or just seeing opposition or seeing what perceives to be competition in a new way. Because there's the crocodile, right, which is very much of that predator energy. But it's the idea with that fox in reverse. They're not actually to mess with you. They're actually trying to bring out a level of greatness that is in you. Whether or not this is, again, you coming into kind of like union and building bridges with what appears to be like your competition, and actually deciding to work together because you both operate at a level of commitment or passion or excellency for like what you do that some of your actual like friends, like they just can't possibly conceive. Or whether this is spirit using your enemies, working through your competition to pull out a level of like excellency that previously you didn't have, right? Because we actually grow a lot through competition, and competition can really pull out like a very toxic side in a lot of people. But if applied appropriately, competition can actually make you better. It can make you smarter. It can make you work a little bit harder. It can make you more innovative, creative, help you stay on top of the ball, help you stay on your A game. Whereas if you were around, right, it's like if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're probably in the wrong room. Right, and one of the other signs had it too, I think it might have been Virgo, about wanting to surround yourself with people that are passionate and goal-oriented and ambitious and trying to develop themselves, right? That if you're surrounded by people that are kind of happy with the status quo, comfortable in complacency, then sooner or later that you will become comfortable in that too. And so I think that might be why you actually may be seeing more in common with who previously you perceived to be your opponent or your enemy or your competition. And it seems to be like there's some kind of bridge being built there. Yeah. Cool. Interesting. You got the strangest one. You got the strangest one, Aquarius, but we'll see how that plays out for you. Again, it might not be like an actual encounter with someone, but it just could be the benefit in competition or the benefit in opposition that you are seeing differently now than you have before in the past, right? So, that's what we got, guys. Pretty cool. Pretty nifty. Pretty happy. We got them all done in like a decent amount of time, 1 hour and 40 minutes. So that's pretty cool. We have not gotten them done that quickly before, so that's very nice. I do feel tired though, but I have more work to do, so I have to like try and be disciplined. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. I very much appreciate you guys. I timestamped all the readings, so for those of you guys watching it on the replay later, I will have the timestamps in the comment section for you guys to make it easier. Sunday service is up. We covered Matthew 17:24 this week, so it was a short one this week. It was like 26 minutes. Sunday service was short this week, but effective nonetheless. So if you're interested in Sunday service, that is already up and posted for you. Libra, your monthly reading will probably go out later today. I also have the Libra season video live stream to do, so one of those will go out later today. It's either going to be the monthly reading or it will be the live stream, whichever one. If you're interested in your October monthlies, check out the Bumblebee or the Hive tiers on Patreon. Especially if you're interested in more than one, it's a lot cheaper to do it that way than to buy them individually on Vimeo. My schedule for personal readings for energy work sessions are available for October now. So if you're interested in a live reading, just click my Acuity scheduling link in the description box. If you want a pre-recorded, just send me an email. All of that is in the description box as well. Yeah, I think that's mostly what I have for you guys. So we did a little bit of like a quick one this week, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that gives you a little bit of a foresight into what may be coming to you this week. I really appreciate all you guys being here and spending time with me on this Sunday. I hope you enjoy Sunday service. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your weekend. I hope you have a wonderful week. And I will see you later. Goodbye.